Hey guys, welcome to the new season of History for Gays. In case you're new or a returning listener and forgot my name, hi, my name is Victoria and I love history. Last season we discussed the civil rights movements in America and South Africa. This season we'll be delving into the independence movements of Western Africa, paying closer attention to the country, Ivory Coast. Well, to begin this season, we have to start at the beginning. Not necessarily the very beginning, like the Big Bang Theory or whatever, but, far enough back to have relevance in the storyline. This episode in particular will discuss the Ivory Coast. So without further ado, put on your exploring shoes and let's take it back. The earliest written records regarding Ivory Coast were about traders traveling south for the prospect of gold. That sort of sounded like alliteration, but it was not meant to be. The growth of the region can be attributed to trading. Islam was brought to the region because of these traders. Trading largely consisted of spices, ivory, gold, with the European explorers, and Christianity was brought over by these explorers. And if you look on the screen right now, you can see a map of French West Africa, the trading patterns during the time of Mali. The Mali Empire, which had dissolved not long before these explorers joined the picture. In 1842, the French declared this area their protectorate. Protectorate. Isn't that a hard word to say? Yeah, it is. Although slave trade did not fully occur in this region, the most popular trade, of course, was ivory, and ivory is obtained via elephant tusks, which I had not known. Doing research, I was like, oh, ivory must be some sort of mineral, like, I don't know, gold or iron. But no, it's from elephant tusks, which is very interesting and actually caused extinction. Not full extinction, but depletion of elephants. Anyways, I love animals. These borders, though, were not liked by the natives, as they ascribed lines that were not to the liking of the ethnic groups. For example, the two religions that made up the majority of the Ivory Coast territory were Christianity and Islam, both of which harbored an extreme dislike for each other. However, that is a whole other deal that we will discuss in a different episode, so if you want to learn more about the Christianity and Islam troubles, that will be in a later episode, so you have to stay tuned. Now, I'm going to dial back the lens a bit and talk about West Africa as a whole instead of just focusing on the Ivory Coast. The African chiefs of the region were used as intermediaries for communication between the colonial government and the civilians under the chief. So these chiefs did not really have a lot of power, and they were just sort of exploited to control the natives. But the natives thought that they were underneath the chief, but, that's exploitation. Much of the African territories were under indirect rule, and in simpler terms, indirect rule means the powers controlled their, and I use their in air quotes because it's obviously not their land, it's the natives' land. The powers controlled their land by exploitation of the native African governments, which they just conquered. Africans were employed in order to establish an administration and comprise the military. A railroad was being built to connect the east and west bodies of water for trade. And check out the photograph on the screen right now to see what I mean for the Ivory Coast. For Sudan, the economic goal was to provide Senegal with foodstuffs. And the farmers of Senegal thought that growing peanuts was better for export and profit. It seems like the main economic export for most African territories were crops and other natural resources. And these societies were extremely hierarchical, with everyone falling under specific rank. Colonies under France were integrated through acculturation, with the goal of the people becoming full French citizens. But the only population of a country that could be considered French is that of Algeria, but some scholars still disagree with this. Well, I do believe that I just covered a lot of information, and I think I need a nap, to be frank. So the question of the day is this: why do you believe that countries feel entitled to colonize other countries? Think about that. This has been your host, Victoria, and it's time to take off your exploring shoes now, folks.